Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this Super 7 Ultimate figure review, we're going to be looking at their Tarn figures. So in this video, we're going to have a quick look how he displays with some other Super 7 figures. We'll have a look how he fares up against the transforming official version of him as well. And of course, we can have a look at the entire contents of the packaging, because there's simply loads that come with him. Before we get started, I need to remind anybody who's not subscribed to the channel, let's hit that subscribe button for me now, please, because it really will help me out. And then, of course, we need to look at the beautiful, beautiful packaging. So what we've got is the first outer box, which you can see there. If I just raise this up ever so slightly, you can obviously see, I suppose it's like a blueprint or like the schematics of the outside of the figure. This is on lovely foil reflective printed cardboard. To be fair, it looks stunning. You've of course got the name of the character there, the Decepticon logo on the back, which is brilliant. If you take the outer sleeve off, you've got the tech specs. And again, the reason why you've got all of this is because these are licensed by Hasbro and Takara, so they can use their correct names, they can use their correct likenesses and everything like that. So inside there comes a load of plastic clamshells, unfortunately, which I've just opened up very quickly just to speed up the length of the video. So what we've got here, and I'm probably going to use a few of these, but maybe not all. We've got an unmasked version of his face. We've got 1, 2, 3 more sets of fists, and you've got that part again where you can clip that onto the mask. He also comes with Nickel, and this is again where I have to confess I haven't got to this part in the IDW comics. I think they're the IDW. I know they're, of course, these are the DJD members, but I don't know too much about this little guy. He comes packaged in this back part, to be honest, with some additional little parts. Let me just show you here. So yeah, these are classed as ultimate figures. That's what they're literally described as due to the size of them. Super 7 also do smaller versions of figures, but they're not as articulate and of course nowhere near as much accessories. So we've got this little figure here. He doesn't transform, none of these transform, but they just display very, very well. You can actually, which has surprised me, spin his head all the way around. I thought that it would be at least a little restricted by his huge shoulder pads. The arms have minimal articulation and they'll go backwards and forwards, but they won't move out to the sides. You've got a waist rotation, and to be honest, he's a little bit difficult to balance, but that is because of course we've not put his little backpack on. Once you pop this on, his rocket pack, he counterbalances himself much. I'm saying that now and he's going to fall over. I was going to say much better. So there you go, I've moved his arms forward and that counterbalances him. That's just a lovely little, I suppose, bonus. The thing that when you pick up the package, you'll notice it's heavy because there's so much going on and so much accessories with it, apart from, as I say, all the accessories we've got there for Nickel, and as I say, the main little hands. You've got this huge cannon here, and then of course you've got the massive figure himself. So let's just quickly move all of these out of the way very quickly. Oh, dropping everything. But what you've got here is a huge non-transforming figure. Although he looks kind of basic, as in what I mean by that, he looks kind of blocky, his articulation is in fact very, very good. The head sculpt is again awesome as well. If you wanted to take the heads off and replace it, you would very simply, he says, you've just got to apply a little bit of pressure. You can grab hold of that, you can hear that that's starting to come off, and then what you would do, there you go, it's a huge ball and socket, so you can replace that with any of the other heads. Now, because obviously it's a ball and socket, it means that it can look all the way around, up and down, etc., fully articulate, and a nice bit of detail on there as well. The shoulders themselves will go right out near enough full T, but that's only just because they're restricted by the huge parts on there. They will go all the way around, no issues whatsoever. You've got a bicep swivel cut and a flexion as well. The fists, of course, because of what you can do, again, you can just very simply replace these by taking everything's stiff. It's a brand new toy, but you do have to apply a bit of pressure. Maybe that's why they're not intended for kids. And again, you can take the fist off and you can replace them with any of the other hands you've just seen. Because you can of course replace the fists, you can of course, there's articulation on it, you see. That's why I'm struggling to get it in. This is moving backwards and forwards, so there's loads of articulation. You've got your wrist swivel, and of course, and some of the other fists have open palms, etc., so you can hold on to other people's accessories. You can see there is a legitimate ab crunch. That is why he keeps bending over, as well as the full waist swivel as well. With regards to the legs, you can do, no, you can't go splits that way, and you can't go splits at all, to be honest. That is due to these hip skirts here. They are rubber, there is some flexion in them, but I don't want to obviously overstretch, because you don't really need to. There's a thigh cut at the top, there's a knee bend there, which is pretty much, feels like it's on ratchets, because you can see it jolting. And there's ankle, is there a tilt? There's like a toe tap and stuff. I'm not too, it doesn't look like there's a sideways rock, but there's definitely all that going on as well. So fully articulate. And again, these figures now, I suppose, completely serve their purpose. And what I mean by that is, for people who aren't too fussed about non-transforming figures and they just want good representations of figures and characters from, in this case, I think more so comics, they can do it. And again, look at this. You can rotate that over. That's brilliant. That looks, you can't even see that, but I did have it posed quite good. I'm not very good at posing figures, I will completely admit that, but what I was saying is, yeah, these, they just display very, very well. I've reviewed a couple on this channel already, and they just keep impressing me, because again, I've learned to not be too worried about, I've got that hand backwards surely, haven't I, because the bicep flexion is really tight. Yeah, it's just really tight there as well. Again, I've learned that loads of people just want figures just to display, just to take photos with, etc. So that's where these guys come into play. They really are exactly that. You haven't got to worry about the transformation process. So because you haven't got to worry about the transformation process, there's no extra kibble hanging off them. They've just gone and concentrated on the robot mode, and as you can see, just works. Now, to be fair, this guy looks to be the biggest, and he seems to have the most amount of accessories, so that is quite something, shall we say. There he is with a couple of the other Super 7 Ultimates. I've said in previous videos, but if you've not seen that, they do pretty much only scale with themselves. So what I mean by that is they're not as big as Masterpiece, which you can see there. The Masterpiece is just completely gone off the it's just too tall, and again, I think this is intended to be honest. I think it is actually intended to, but they are quite a bit bigger than leader class, but that doesn't look too out of proportion in my complete honesty. I wouldn't know. As I say, somebody might completely fire back and say no, he must be much smaller than that. But with regards to the mainline figures, when they get them all to scale, with the Voyager class Tarn, he's not too far. Well, he is off Straxus and that, but I'm not sure if it's the same toy lines is what I'm trying to say. That looks surprisingly good, actually. That surprised me how good they look. And again, it's crazy. You've got Marvel Comics, IDW Comics, and then, of course, a full concept figure there. It just proves, doesn't it, you know, that the amount of figures, the range, the scope, the catalogue of figures that they can use, let's be honest. Right, there is the transforming one to give you an idea of more scale. I know these aren't supposed to scale together, it's just to give you guys an idea of his overall height. If you collect third party, these massive compared to these, absolutely massive. So the reason why I'm showing you that is somebody who I know literally bought the Ultimate Optimus, but they only collected third party just because they loved the Ultimate Optimus and they just wanted something which had, I suppose, shelf presence, which there's no denying that this particular figure will in fact have. But I think that's pretty much all there is to say, guys. As I say, I'm not going to go negative because he doesn't transform. He's not supposed to. As I said in the video, he serves his purpose. He looks really good, to be fair. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Again, these figures are starting to really grow on me. Let me know. Take care.